Porinju Veliyath, MD and Portfolio Manager, Equity Intelligence, joins us right now from Kochi. Porinju, much appreciate you taking this time out and joining us today. The event that everybody was talking about, Porinju, is out of the way. Now we probably wait for earnings, we wait for budget, we maybe wait for the GST coming in the budget session as well. What are you doing in the markets currently?
Yeah, good morning, Neeraj and team ET Now. I feel that event, if you remember some couple of months back, we were discussing on ET Now that the Fed rate hike will not be an event at all. And that could trigger the market, because a lot of people are waiting, expecting that this is a major negative development for Indian investors, and they're waiting for it to get over for buying stocks. So I feel the major thing one should look at in the market, at this point of time. See, there is a lot of pent-up demand for equities from domestic investors in this country. That could be taking our price-earning multiples by at least 2 going forward. So I feel I'm very bullish on the markets. I still strongly believe, by March end, the Nifty can take a new high, even though I'm not a Nifty fan kind of thing. The kind of stocks what we have been discussing. Today I saw a movement in the EPC companies. Neeraj, if you remember our Diwali program, I was talking about the EPC opportunities like Simplex Infra, some Pradeep, I was just telling a few names, but there are a lot of companies in that segment which have been highly depressed. Stocks are at 5-year, 10-year lows. And some of these companies are, too early to write off. Some of them have got reasonable balance sheet, they have got execution capabilities and good business model. And the coming years, I feel there could be significant increase in the order flow for these companies, mostly related to the government projects. So I feel some of these companies can go really multi-bagger. And the question was about the general market. I think the market, the worst is over. Investors should look at their favorite picks, the value picks, and 2016 is going to be again equally rewarding like 2015. When I say equally rewarding for the stock pickers, even index-wise, I'm seeing after a long time, I'm looking at some of the large cap companies. Even we had bought some small Reliance Industries last month in PMS, for some few new clients. It's basically maybe idea kind of some stocks. There are stocks. Maybe it is time to even look at some of these companies which are beaten down by the FII selling. See, it was a trend. It was a cycle of FII selling in India in the past. I feel the selling momentum will come down, and I won't be surprised. A lot of FII buying happening in this country, despite the US rate going up and all.
What about earnings, Porinju? Do you also believe that looking at the advanced tax numbers, which was a story that we ran a couple of days back, that Q3 would show green shoots of recovery?
To be very frank, even the core stocks in our portfolio, I don't very keenly look at their quarterly numbers. So you're asking quarterly performance of companies in general to somebody like that. So I don't really think about it, to be very frank. Even though I know a lot of people discuss how will be the Q3, the Q4. I think value investing has not got much to do with quarter and 2. And there could be challenges. There could be economic environment not in favor. So the companies may struggle to have a big growth in the bottom line. Maybe some of those companies which have come down by, say, 30%, 40% in the last 1 year in the stock price. So it could be just value. It could be an opportunity to pick such kind of stocks, provided the business, what this company is carrying out, that's got a future potential. It is futuristic, and they have a reasonable balance sheet, and people who, the management, sometimes the kind of promoters, the entrepreneurs are dynamic enough to create wealth for the shareholders. These are the kind of macro parameters I always look at in buying a company, buying ownership in a company, the so-called stocks. And there are tremendous, I think a lot of people in this country, they are making huge money by equity investing, even in this last 1 year. I know a lot of people, smart guys, they are picking stocks. They are not picking the markets. Those who pick the markets, they are not happy in the last 1 year. It is true. But picking the stocks is more important. And that is what I think, especially those who are individual investors. Now, people listening to the business channels like ET Now, there'll be mostly individual stock pickers. What they need is, is stocks, not the market.
Would you pick Suzlon Energy?
I have never liked Suzlon Energy since IPO. I have never bought it in my life. And I have no idea today. I always tend to ignore these companies because I didn't like initially when the IPO was there, I didn't really like the approach of the management and the way they have been managing this company, over leveraging and taking too many bets without proper calculation. But I don't know, it has come down so much. I can't really comment at this price.
By the way, so it's not a recommendation from Porinju Veliyath at all. Suzlon, just keep that in mind. Porinju, let's talk themes.
Yes,
Let's talk themes. I vividly remember during our Diwali discussion, you were talking about EPC names. Today, a Simplex, coincidentally, Porinju, we have you. Simplex Infrastructure is amongst the best performing stocks on the Nifty 500 as well. My question to you, Porinju, is would you go in for the Simplex Infrastructure, KNR Construction, Sadbhav Engineering variety, which are, well, many would argue would actually price to perfection and have a decent balance sheet? Or would you go in for the lower rung, the GMR, GVKs of the world, which are troubled, in distressed, and the balance sheet debt is very, very large, even if they have assets?
Yeah, I think it makes sense, Neeraj, the way you are dividing these segments. Because as you rightly told now, GMRs and GVKs, they have huge debt. Then one has to see how much they own, the kind of assets what they own, or the business model going forward. These are the two aspects on the asset side. The other side, we have the huge debt. So there is some lack of clarity, even though I once recommended a GVK at around 7 rupees on our channel. If you remember, I was in Delhi. Stock is, I think, slightly better than that price today, in spite of the markets being bad. But here, it's not a real foolproof kind of idea, when it comes to these stocks. I see more clarity in stocks in companies like Simplex Infra or the Pradibha Industries. They are very large companies. Now the stock prices came down. They were depressed for almost 5-6 years. So people may tend to consider them as sick companies, But I think if the order flows comes, and one more thing, the earlier orders, they were all loss-making orders for many of these companies. The new orders, they are readjusting the cost and price kind of things and in the bid. So it will be profitable. 10, 15, 20% for some companies, some of these infrastructure projects in different aspects of infrastructure. This is the opportune time for them to choose and pick stocks in that segment. Because now, see the roadmap what government is creating. When we talk about Swachh Bharat or manufacture in India, or the Make in India, there are many themes the government is trying to make. These are themes. This is not an activity what government is doing. So these themes are to promote these activities for a better India. Some people may be criticizing, Swachh Bharat fail over here. This is all just nonsense. This is a theme every Indian has to participate and build up in the next 5-10 years. Not to have it, the result to be seen in 6 months kind of thing. So right. In that perspective, I think coming back to the EPC opportunities, yeah. I'm very confident. So which companies, I don't want to give too many names here, which companies
forget the names,
will take advantage of these opportunities
I'm not asking
with a reasonable balance sheet and business model and execution capabilities.
Okay, so I'm guessing Porinju is trying to say that go out for the reasonable balance sheets, even if they might be very expensive. But anyway, I think you had a question.
No, I was just wanting to ask him about how he sees this, a battle, so to speak, in the consumer space for localized Ayurveda brands, for the kind of competition that Patanjali has created. We were discussing it at length yesterday, Porinju. HUL small acquisition after 10 years, they made a local acquisition.
It's from his geography.
Yeah, that's true. Indulekha, you perhaps can throw in more perspective about the business there as well. Do you see more such acquisitions within the consumer space from some of the larger established nationalized names? Marico, we just spoke with them a little while back on whether they also are going to get active with an inorganic growth strategy.
Yeah, who's next to me?
Yeah, Porinju.
Okay, sorry, yeah. See, it is true that a lot of deals are happening in this country. This is a deal from a Kerala-based entity, Indulega, what they have been buying. I think some people, it's a very interesting kind of thing. You spend money with a vision, have a product profile, and spend 100 crores for advertisement. You can easily sell it at 300 and 400 crores in this market. It may be good for the buyer also, I'm not sure. But I don't know how long that kind of a business model will work. But it is true. I'm telling you, in many, not only in consumer space. See, because the dynamism happening in the economy of India, it is unlike any other countries in the world, any other economies in the world. So I used to always talk. We have a variety of industries and segments. Considering our population structure and the kind of the different parts of the country, it's all different by nature, by the economies of each state. So it's a very dynamic economy, and into which the new terminology like the disruptive technologies or the disruptive growth happening. So it has added to the dynamism of I would say equity.